Morning everyone, it's Friday morning. Not entirely sure yet what today's going to bring. The weather actually looks alright once this kind of mist and fog clears. George is filling up with water, ready to head over to a local customer to spray some barley for them. He's then going to crack on with our winter wheat T1s, which are now bang on ready to be sprayed, but we've got probably 550, 600 acres to spray, so a lot to do. Hopefully he gets a big day in today, and then we'll be right on track with where we need to be for our timings. Will Hammond's just left the yard there, as you saw. He's off moving digestate fibre. At the moment, Andrew's up in the workshop just changing the tips and some wearing parts on the Kuhn plough, and Dad's in there. I'm not entirely sure what Dad is doing, but fixing or mending or altering something. I'm fairly sure we'll have the 3/8 series out on groundwork today. Possibly get a bit of maize in the ground, hopefully. It's definitely warm enough now, and yeah, it should be a dry day. I think it's got a bit of rain coming in the middle of the night, so hopefully it'll be an interesting video for you. So where Andrew was ploughing yesterday was just a little bit too wet to plough properly, so he's got to give it a couple of days to dry out there. Giving his tractor a wash off, because you can see he pulled through as much mud as he could, but he's changed some of the plough parts over, so he's just giving that one a quick wash off before she goes out again. And back in the workshop, Harry and Dad are just fabricating some mudguard extensions to go in the 8R370, just to stop all the spray coming back up and covering the windows in the machine. So if I show you what they've done this side, they've connected up here, runs around because there's a gap here where the mud was able to just fly up and cover the tractor, so keeps it all clean. Just had to bring the telehandler up to the plant, because theirs is currently out of action, so we brought ours up so that Tony can load up some digestate fibre, get that loaded in the trailer and taken to the field for spreading. You can see the fresh grass in the background there that was cut yesterday. They're coming to the end of their whole crop at the plant now. The whole crop harvest will come most likely in August. So yeah, that's what Tony's up to today. Got Tony and Will Hammond moving fibre at the moment. This means Steve's checked the block he's just gone to look at for whether it's suitable or not to start working, and he thinks it's good to go. So Andrew's got the Terrano on, and they're going to go work some ground about 5 miles away, 40-acre block. George is back spraying barley. He's got T1s on the wheats to crack on with now. For the first 40 acres of maize this year, we're going to stick in some gear racks. We're still debating as to whether or not today will be the best day to drill, but that is the plan. Drilling the gear racks at 42,000 seeds an acre, see you've got the 12 row 6 metre maize drill. So the 8s will go down and do some groundwork, and we'll just wait to hear on whether we're going to drill. Andrew's left in the Terrano. He's been gone a while cultivating. Now we've got both Power Harrows leaving the yard, so we'll follow them down in a bit, and we'll catch up with them doing the groundworks, and then we'll be drilling maize behind them in an hour or so. So here we are where the work's going on. Andrew in the 370 with the Horsch Terrano just cultivating. You may recognise this field. We've seen Andrew ploughing in here before. So he's cracking on in this field. He's already finished this one. And in here we've got Dad with the 8 metre Power Harrow and Harry with the 7 metre Power Harrow. Both working in the same field, getting the groundwork down so that it's suitable for drilling. And I'll flip the drone up in the air and get you some better angles and some better videos. So the easiest way to catch what the guys are doing is with the drone, obviously. So Andrew's here with the new cultivator that we've recently purchased, the Horsch Terrano. He's running over the ploughed ground that he ploughed around a month ago, and you can see it's on its own. The Terrano does a brilliant job of leaving a very nice seed bed behind it, but obviously we for maize want it a bit finer than that. So Andrew's just in here working in front of the 2 Power Harrows that are on. I'm sure he was happy to see both of them turn up, pushing him to go faster. When he's got a 4 metre machine and he's got an 8 metre and a 7 metre machine behind him, it keeps him on his toes. So we've got the 7 metre Power Harrow here on the 8R370 that Harry's driving. Both Power Harrows are Kuhn machines, 1.7 and 1.8. If I just pan up now, you see Dad's there. In the same field, they kind of started in the middle, and one worked one way and one worked the other. That gets the ground covered as quickly as possible, and it's working down that nicely. That whereas other places you would have seen us Power Harrow twice over, this didn't need a second run at all. It was working down brilliantly. So Dad was very happy, and let Will know straight away that he'd soon be needed in his drill. So from here, I just dropped down, try and get a better look. The drone was battling the wind a little bit, so it took a little bit longer to get it moving than usual. We come up here behind Dad and do my best to kind of give you a good idea of how well worked down the ground is and how fluffy that seed bed becomes once it's been through the Power Harrow tines. Gives you a decent idea there how fine the seed bed becomes once it's gone through the machine. I thought I'd get a bit fancy there and do the overtake and spin round. And you saw us changing the tines at the end of last week, so they're all brand new, doing the best job possible, really. No wear in them at all. Oh, look at that. That truly is lovely stuff. Could be a pilot in the RAF. So that gives you a good view from above of what the ground's like before and after. And if it ever does get desperate and we've got a need to work down ground quicker or work down ground elsewhere even, we do have the option, obviously, with the power harrow drill that you saw Harry using last week or the week before, of taking the drill off of that and just using the power harrow on its own. So with that, we've got the ability to work down a lot of acres of maize ground in one day, should we need to. But usually having an 8 metre and a 7 metre on will allow us to stay ahead of the drill. And stay ahead of the drill if we've just got one drill running. The only time we'd potentially need to get another power harrow out is if we had 2 maize drills running. So from that field back into the field that Andrew's in, you see he's just got one strip up through the field left, plus some little short work in the corner, and then his headland. So I'll go for a bit of a cinematic shot again. Start out wide and drop the drone right down in front of the tractor. So in this block of ground at the moment, we've got all 3 8 series tractors working together. Not all in the same field at the moment, obviously, but you never know, that might come later in the video. So yeah, groundwork looks like it's going well. From that you can see they're already a decent way through that first field, power harrowing. Andrew's just doing the headland now of the second field, which just leaves the big one. So yeah, it looks like the seed bed is lovely. Dad's very happy with what it's looking like, so Will's gonna get his drill loaded with seed and head on down here at some point. He might give it a little minute or two, just because it's not necessarily ideal being right behind the power harrows when and then having to wait, because he's obviously able to drill faster than they are power harrow. So, but he will be down here shortly, and I'll catch up with him before I leave this evening, just see how he's getting on, watch the first maize of the year go in, hit that milestone. It's actually later in the month than we thought it was going to be, because we obviously had some dodgy weather just after all that lovely weather, but it might work out as a better circumstance, really, because it is that little bit warmer in the evenings now. The soil temperature will be better. So, and I know both agronomists were pushing for us not to drill a few weeks ago. So yeah, we'll catch up with Will shortly. So we've loaded the maize drill, 3 bags in each bin, 50,000 seeds to a bag, and like I say, we're drilling at 42,000 seeds an acre. Got 50 centimetre spacing on this drill. So from there, as I've mentioned before, with the precision drill, it drills 1 seed at a time. So it knows it's horizontal spacing, and it drills the seeds in the rows at a space that allows for 42,000 seeds to go down in an acre. I know for some of you this is just me explaining things as simply as possible, and I probably sound a bit stupid, but just for those of you that aren't into farming, that's how the drill works. And the calculations are all done on a per seed basis rather than a seed weight basis, like you get on a power harrow drill, or like we use on the Focus to drill cereals. It's done on seed number rather than seed weight and volume. So Will's loaded up now, just folding up. He'll head on down to that block shortly and try and catch up with the three of them down there working the ground. As suggested earlier, we've got the 3/8 series all working together in the same field. So we've just passed Andrew in the 370 with the Horsch Terrano. And as we fly down the field here, we've got both power harrows. Again, one on one half of the field, one on the other. So we go past Dad with the 8 metre in the 8R410. And then down here at the bottom of the field, Harry in the 8R370 with the 7 metre power harrow. And then I'll just fly back on up the field. Again, really windy up there, so keeping it lower was let me go faster, but it seemed to keep wanting to pull me closer to the ground, and I could see another drone crash coming on, so had to keep popping it a bit higher. And you see at this point, Andrew's very nearly finished for his job for the day. Getting towards the end of this field. This is the biggest field of the block. You just follow him on down. You can see how rough the ground is in front of him and what he's leaving behind. As I mentioned before, Dad absolutely loves that new Horsch. Very happy with that one. And while that's going on, Will is in the 6R250 and the Horsch precision drill that you saw earlier. I did get a couple other drone videos of him, but I think I had bad signal and it wasn't a very good quality video. So I've got him drilling from above, give you a good idea of how much of the field he's covered so far. You can see he's done his headlands there. And then from here, I'll pan back over and see what the 3/8s are up to. So yeah, it's very rare you'll see all 3/8s in the same field, and it's definitely a rare sight for the area of the country that we're in, seeing them working at all. So nice to be able to catch that. And that is the first maize that we're putting in the ground. And yeah, in total in this block, you're looking at kind of 1,500 horsepower getting the maize in the ground. So that'll be all for today's video. I've just had to help George get through a little obstacle with the sprayer that was in the way. Hopefully the weather holds out tonight. It's not meant to rain until midnight, so hopefully he's able to finish the block he's in. It's kind of spitting with rain at the moment, which doesn't bode well, but hopefully we're okay. Andrew, Harry and Dad are still up doing groundworks in front of Will, just about a mile from where I am at the moment, and that's all going well, so that's good. Ant's back in the workshop with Tony, just sorting a pipe on one of the trailers. And yeah, I think tomorrow the plan will be to pick up some grass to clear the plant for the weekend. And aside from that, I'm not really sure, as I know that it's due to rain most of the morning tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully they get that grass done, no problem. Hopefully the spraying goes well tonight, and might get a chance of spraying some more tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. But aside from that, that'll be all from me for the week. Thank you very much, as always, for your support and for watching. Yeah, really appreciate all the views, all the comments, and everyone who's subscribing. And I'll keep the videos coming, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.